BB, go ahead and talk about it. Just awful news. I know a very, very close friend of yours, Raymie Styons, passing away, and had him on the show a couple of weeks ago. He actually texted me during the show last week when Ken Watlington was here, and said, "You got another Plymouth guy on?" And I said, "Yeah, a lot of stars coming out of Plymouth, I guess." So, we're talking to him, and Chandler, we're watching him on TV on Friday, and man, I don't even really have the words. I know you don't either, but really sorry to you, Bailey, and of course his family for losing such a great man.
Yeah, and I thought I could do this, but
yeah,
it's just so sad. I mean, it really is. For his kids, I saw them all three last night, and you just feel for them. I haven't seen Carolyn yet, but I plan on tonight probably, and it's just, it takes your breath away.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does.
Just so shocking, and man, the outpouring of support from college basketball university accounts, but coaches. Saw Seth Greenberg, Tom Crean, Wes Durham had a great note for him, and I always remember Woody Durham would call him Raymond. I'm like, isn't his name Raymie? But Woody always went with his official name, Raymond, when he talked about him on the air.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, for officials, a lot of people liked him, Bailey.
I always told him that. I always told him that it's a miracle that you got along with so many people, and I was just always fascinated by some of his stories, and the people that I looked up to, even as a kid growing up in the ACC, and then seeing him and knowing him like I did, and there's so many stories that we went through together. We were young together. I mean, he sold me my first car, and I couldn't even afford it, and I bought it anyway. But it's just highly dang. I got the news, and it was, you say devastating, but I mean it was just really, really tough. And I know he was, his love for his kids, his love for his grandkids, and that's that just broke my heart right away. And just and talking to them last night, I mean they'll pull up their pants at some point and move on, but they just. They don't have their dad, and that hurts,
man. And so many different entities he touched: the college basketball world, the area baseball world. I found out even before I saw anything online from Mully, another baseball guy, and just knowing how much the kids in the community, Greenville Little League, and everybody. Was a fan of Raymie Styons as well. So hate to start the show with terrible news, but that is that's what happened. That's the reality. It is shocking, and they say it gets better with time, but as you said,
it's going to take some time.
It's going to take a long, long time.
He was. I've known him so long, and he was coaching Trey when I think Trey was 5. Trey and Brian Blick at the middle of an infield, and my son was a year behind him. He was in the outfield, and so I asked Raymie. I said, "How'd Rano do?" And he said, "Ask him what kind of flowers he was out there picking." And I was like, "Oh, you got a point." But Raymie had the best. He was just a heck of a coach. And I talked to Brian Weingarts today, and Brian said that, so many parents, when they come into Greenville Little League, and they're like, "Hey, is there any way he can get on Raymie Styons' team?" And that's not quite how it works over there. And but some were fortunate to get with him, and others were fortunate to play All-Stars with him. He knew the game, and he was very not only knowing the game, but very passionate with the kids, and the kids loved him. And I mean, it was. There a lot of broken hearts about yesterday afternoon.
Brandon Manning says one of the best sports guys, great father, grandfather, coach, and mentor. No doubt about that. And you can tell it doesn't always work out this way, but you can tell the type of person someone is by their offspring, their children. And I've had several interactions with Trey, who's now in the refereeing business himself, right, Bailey?
Yes,
and doing games. And great young man he is. I guess almost a great grown man now at this point. But
I had a chance to go up the first time he and Raymie refereed together.
Oh, wow.
At Old Dominion. So I knew I could get to Old Dominion because my mom and dad, are still living there. So I went up there and stayed with them that night and did the story. And we did a story with Raymie the very first time he did an ACC basketball game, ACC tournament basketball game. Because, the ACC tournament was the biggest deal going, and he had told me, hey, I got a tournament game this year, and I thought, man. So we got permission from the ACC to mic him up, Brian Meador and myself, and we went in the locker room with him, before and then after to talk about just what he felt like out on the floor and doing a tournament game, and it's just. Yeah, I always looked up to that part of it. I just thought, what an important position. A baseball guy being a basketball referee. Yeah. He was a good one.
No doubt. We'll honor Raymie Styons on today's program. I tell you what, it's early, but let's go ahead and take a break. We'll reset, and we'll come back and talk about something Raymie loved, which is sports. We'll talk some Pirate football with Double B, little Olympics. All right, BB, we were out on Saturday. Let's give away our awards. MVP of the press conference on Saturday was WCTI 12's Luke Schwartz. Congratulations, Luke.
For MVP, all right. What's that stand for?
Most valuable problem. I
was thinking something else.
He exposed East Carolina's playbook and called Mike Houston old
in about 30 seconds. Yeah, that was crazy.
That was the best part about it. It's like you said the other day, Clip. It's like, how can I make this better? And it's basically pointing out his age.
Yeah, one thing about the young people these days, they'll double down on you in a heartbeat. They're like, you're not going to get me that easily. But.
So it's not a huge deal. And Mike Houston chuckled, but I think I was surprised cameras were allowed out there today. I'll just say that because Luke asked him about a play and went into specifics. He said, hey, this guy here and that guy over there, and you did this and did that. And he said, what are you doing, man?
And that was at the end of practice when really, none of us were supposed to be out there. I think some of them were kind of just, watching
lingering
from a distance and kind of hanging. I did the same thing with Coach Holtz in Hawaii at the Hawaii Bowl, but it was not exactly the same. Dwayne Harris had taken snaps from the shotgun during the season.
Yeah.
And he was doing the same thing. And I said, Coach, you had Dwayne Harris back there, taking snaps. Was that part of the game plan this week? And he went in the same kind of tirade. And I was
it was before you said that.
Yeah, and I was like, Coach, you did it. It's not like it's not on tape. They've seen it before. I mean, But and I asked Donnie Kirkpatrick later on that day. I saw him at the hotel. I said, "Is Coach upset?" And he said, "Bailey, Coach doesn't remember what he had for breakfast. He doesn't remember that at all."
And Luke was basically getting to, oh, man, it looks like you got a lot of wrinkles in this playbook. And I think Mike Houston's 5-word or whatever answer to it was, we have a very diverse playbook. And that was it. That was his entire answer. Then a couple minutes later, Luke comes back with, Coach, you've been coaching forever. You've been in this thing.
You're old as dirt.
Half your lifetime is what he said.
Which Mike Houston actually gave a good answer to that about how excited he still gets to coach kids. Just a funny moment. And honestly, not too many nuggets really coming out of Saturday. I don't know. You guys get anything from Coach Houston?
Not really. I think it's, they're in camp and it's just one of those things that basically your day to day, and they're not doing them every day now with the interviews, but you kind of just want to know where the team is. The big questions at quarterback, and he kind of addresses that every time. That, my first question to him was about the heat and how, it's a fine line between, heat that you need to get ready and heat that can hurt you. And he was, he went into detail about, you get hot in the mornings and then you get a chance to shower, get some food, you get to, hydrate yourself, and then you go back outside in the evening, and we just walk through, and it's so hot and humid when you're walking through that it takes some more out of you. And so I think it was another case for his indoor practice facility. And I got news for him. If he needed a case for his indoor practice facility, baby, it is coming.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what they're going to do. The high school coaches, we talked to a lot of those guys today at the Big Carolina luncheon, and they were like, we just got to wait and see what happens. But, if this place gets 12 inches of rain at Conley, that's going to be Swamp City for a while. So I don't know how anybody's going to practice football and who's going to be able to scrimmage and that kind of thing. But
they are scheduled to play when, Bailey? Is it the 23rd?
23rd is opening night. So. Conley's supposed to scrimmage Tarboro on that annual deal they do in the mornings. Supposed to be Friday morning. Could still be Friday morning. Kind of depends on what happens. But, all the forecasts just seem to think that, hey, we're going to get a ton of rain. And, that's not good for anybody preparing for a season.
And I saw a comment or two coming off Houston's comments about, indoor practice facility for the extreme heat, and I saw what about the games that are going to be 90 degrees? You got to be ready for that heat. I think one of his points is when they're out there in that heat, they're losing all the weight and all the stuff that they're trying to put on these guys.
Right.
So it doesn't put them in the best position come start of the season. So we talked to players about that too.
I talked to Alex Harper out at practice. This was on Friday, I believe, Friday or Saturday. He had lost 6 pounds since Wednesday.
Yeah. And they're eating and they're lifting weights and doing all they can to keep that weight on, but when it's hot like that, there ain't nothing.
Well, the
to
best case scenario is you go out and you get your heat work done, and then you go in and do some other things, and then like Coach said, in the evenings when you're walking through, you just take them in the indoor, and that way. And then if you have rain coming through or anything like that, you just keep them in the indoor. They've got to get that thing done, and everybody says it's close.
Well, it seems like it's been close for a while.
Yeah, we've been hearing that for a while, and they're within $1 million, and you would think that somebody. I mean, I know that's a lot of money, and I certainly don't have it. I'd love to be able to contribute something like that, but hopefully they can get to that point, break ground, and start building that thing.
Look, Bailey's got 8 colleges he's sending money to right now.
Yeah. I'm too cheap to send it to a college, I'm telling you.
I got a shout out from our guy today. I saw. How's Rajay doing out there, John?
Yeah, well, Bailey's talked about it on this show, but he really does look 100% with 1 year under his belt since the ACL injury a couple years ago, and he's looking really good out there. And you could definitely tell he's one of the top leaders on this team because there's a lot of vocal stuff going on from him, and he's always up front and one of the first guys to get reps. So he's looking really good. So excited for hopefully a great year out of Rajay Harris.
And Coach said that he was having to take slots or shots with the third team
because of young guys.
Because the young guys couldn't figure out what to do. So,
My God.
Yeah, my guy's right.
My guy.
But I tell you what, I mean,
Coach was not happy about that last week either in his comments. He didn't mention the player by name, but said because you weren't doing what you were supposed to do. I was like, all right, here we go. Yeah. Got some good sound bites coming.
Yeah, you talk about being grouchy now. You can get grouchy in that heat in a heartbeat.
Well, Coach Houston is in his burgundy. I know he's a Cowboys fan, but his burgundy phase when he comes into postgame and his skin, he looks like he's been in the sun for 2 straight days or something. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Shirley, I heard this on a sports break, and I'm kind of putting you on the spot. Do you know the names of the Pirates who are on that all AAC team? Can you rattle off a few of those?
Yes. Give me 1 second here. I'm having to switch glasses here.
Put on your good glasses.
Put on my good glasses. Yes, it was Andrew Conrad, Rajay Harris, Deontay Johnson, Chase Sowell, Chad Stevens, Winston Wright, and Savone Revels.
As reported by Brian Bailey.
Revel.
Yeah. So those are your guys. And if you want to, just go to ECUPirates.com. You can look at all the lists, but they have been selected as preseason All-American AAC by College Football Network.
All right. College Football Network putting those out. Interesting. Winston Wright gets a shout out. We are wondering what the new weapons will look like and the distribution to those guys.
Yeah, and look out for Winston Wright to be a guy returning kicks and punts maybe this year too. So Josh Murphy, and then Brock Spalding, some other guys as well. So Winston Wright could be a big time playmaker for the Pirates this year.
Hopefully the Pirates get a chance to have that first scrimmage on Saturday too. So that's a big deal, and
especially when you got a quarterback competition going.
Yeah, I say you got 2 of them trying to win that thing, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. When they're going to announce the starter and how it goes from there.
And we'll be able to finally get to see live action because we get 30, 40 minutes out there to take pictures, get video, get shots. But it's a lot of position group drills and stuff like that. So Saturday will be
That's because you got somebody blabbing about the formations after the whole thing in the press box.
That's true. So hopefully we'll be able to get out there the last 30 minutes of the scrimmage on Saturday. We'll be able to kind of analyze what's going on with this with the quarterback deal.
I called Brian North Saturday night to give him a recap.
He told me that. I ate lunch with him today at the Big Carolina deal, and he was laughing about it.
Yeah. And he just said, oh, my God. ECU football put out yesterday. Notice anything new? They had, I guess this is part of the intro video. They had some still shots of some pirates coming out of the ocean and running on the beach. But I guess we got new purple pants with the stripes to match the jerseys.
Yeah, there's a yellow stripe on the pants. It took me a while to notice it, but then I noticed it right away.
Well, what I noticed was our bright pink purple helmets still don't match the jersey.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be like negative guy, but those shiny bright helmets,
it's like the chrome,
look a different color.
Yeah, it's a lighter purple to the jersey.
I'm gonna guess, Bailey, you're you interested in the fashion here?
Let me see.
Did you ever see? I mean, we're talking. I guess that stripe is what is new.
Somebody commented and said, "Is it the yellow stripe on the pants?" And they commented back and said, "Bingo."
I never noticed the helmets looking in that picture. They really look different than the jersey. I think in real life, it is a little different. Obviously,
I wonder if it's more on TV. I notice it because I feel like we went in person and it doesn't look as bad.
Right.
No,
I think that's the case.
But something about how the lights hit them on TV. All right. Anything else ECU related before we move on? We'll be out there tomorrow talking to Coach Houston.
We'll get his comments tomorrow. We'll have it for you on our social media pages and platforms, and then hopefully the weather can hold off on Saturday. We'll have a recap video for you with me and you, Clip.
Bailey, football was on Thursday night. It was the Hall of Fame game. Did you watch any of it?
I did. I watched some of it, and I was interested to see how the storms were going to affect it. And they rolled in, and I guess it was 3 minutes and 31 seconds to play in the third quarter, and they called it, which they should have, I guess. But, it was fun to see them out there.
I need to ask, I guess I'll ask Nadu unless somebody has an answer. What if you took the over or under for that game?
A lot of times they throw those things out.
Just void it?
I think so.
Yeah, it was voided. I bet on the Texans money line. It was no bet.
So everything was
no
voided.
bet.
I think if it won, you got the money, but if it lost, it was voided.
Okay. All right.
That's fair.
Tie goes to the better in that situation.
Well, yeah, that's surprising because
I know.
because I told you at the time, not that I ever indulged in this little activity, but it was an East Carolina baseball game, and because they run ruled somebody, they killed it.
Yep.
And I had a money line because it wasn't
Your friend Adam?
My friend Adam, Joe Bailey, had a money line, and then Joe called him and complained. No,
Really?
No, he didn't.
Can I speak to Mr. DraftKings?
Exactly.
Where's Mr. King at?
This is a funny story. I shouldn't tell this story. I know I shouldn't.
Oh, it should be good.
But so we go to church yesterday, and we're in line for communion, and my watch buzzes, and it was a message from DraftKings.
Honey,
I'm like, well, there goes my.
honey, can we take a little bit out of the offering?
Exactly.
I just got a promo.
Goes the offering. No, it was kind of. I chuckled, and Melissa looked at me like, "What are you laughing at?" I didn't tell her.
Got a bonus bet.
Yeah.
All right, Pike giving us a watch update. He left the beach and is watching on YouTube in Siler City, North Carolina.
My boy.
Siler
He's all
City.
over the place.
Chat gang, real quick. Steve's in the house. Happy Sports Trivia Monday, he says. Hello, Steve. PJ with a hey yo. Jamie with a hey now. Chad with the bang bang chat gang. Glad to have everybody. Kenny Curling's in the house as well. Talk about the heat, and can you talk about how much weight you lost? Some good questions, Sean.
Well, talking about you grew up here a little bit. Talk about the transition over to East Carolina. Talk about the recruiting process. So talk about the recruiting process. Talk about maybe some of the camps you went to. So talk about those camps. Talking about talk about a little bit.
Talk about Hard Knocks debuting Tuesday night. You still watch Hard Knocks, Bailey?
You know, I don't think I did last year, and I think I got rid of HBO, so I'll have to find it somewhere else if I do watch it, but I usually enjoy it.
The Bears featured this year, which should be interesting with a new quarterback, new offense, seemingly. A lot like ECU. Your Panthers playing Thursday night, Sean, against the Patriots.
Against Zach Kaplan's Patriots.
Any Bryce Young action? Is he going to play?
That's a good question. If he does, it will be very short. It'll probably be one drive, no more than two. Because, I mean, then you're going to have Andy Dalton. And I can't remember the third quarterback we have on the roster. But I think you'll see Bryce Young out there for at least a drive.
Jaden Daniels supposed to play some for Washington coming up Saturday when they face the Jets. Anything you're looking forward to, Jarrett, for the Raiders in their game. Are they gonna? They have an ongoing quarterback battle with Gardner Minshew included, right?
Yeah, I read this morning. Both will play a quarter.
Okay, a little debut or a little, I guess. What's the word I'm looking for?
Debut.
Like a showcase.
Yeah.
When you. It's not the real show, but it's a dress rehearsal.
Dress rehearsal.
I think is what I was looking for. With Minshew and O'Connell. And then Bailey's boys play Sunday afternoon against the Rams. Veteran Cowboy team, right? Like, how many young guys are you even going to see? Or how many of these old guys are you even going to see, I wonder?
Not many. Well, that's for sure.
Who's backing up Dak? Do you know?
That's a good question.
It'll be probably Cooper Rush.
Oh,
Trey Lance is still in battling, and they're trying to figure out if Trey Lance is going to overtake it. But
God, I forgot about him.
God.
yeah, and a lot of people I've been reading about stuff, and Trey's not working out according to some folks. Some folks say he's working out really well and he's ready to take over for Dak. But I read so much different stuff. But they were ripping him for giving up a 4th round draft pick to get him. But I thought, as an insurance policy for a 4th round draft pick, if he works out, that's a heck of a deal.
I totally forgot about Trey Lance.
Me too.
Wow.
The older I get, the less I look at what's going on with reports preseason. Because if they say Jaden Daniels looks great, who cares? He hadn't done anything. If they says he looks horrible, again, who cares? Like he missed the throw. Well,
the only thing worse than all that information is all the mock drafts before the draft. I hate those things.
Yeah, I have. Again, I used to love it growing up. I would be all in it, and now I just don't care. I'm ready to see what happens week 1.
Yep.
That's about it.
Me too.
Biggest thing that you look for and hopefully don't have to see is like big time injuries.
That's you just kind of close your eyes a little bit and hope when you look at an update that they don't include injuries. How about that closest race in history yesterday? What was it, the 100, where everybody is neck and neck, torso and torso, foot and foot,
photo finish?
And by the way, the dude Lyles, he won, right?
Yes.
So he got crap from people for saying something about NBA champions saying they're world champions. I'm on his side. I've always said this, like the World Series. Like, well, you won here in the United States, and there's a Canada team, but are you really world champions?
He said world champions for what? The United States?
Yeah. So I'm kind of on his side.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree with him.
You're champions of this continent. I'll give you that.
Continental champions. Sounds like a wrestler.
But if there's a football team in Brazil and they won the Universal Champion, or WWE now, we're the champions of the universe. No, you're not. You won in your country. So I'm with this guy. I don't know why he got so much crap for that. I'm on Team Lyles.
Like Dwayne Wade got mad at him?
Yeah. You're not champions of the world. All right. Anybody watching the Olympics? Anything I should know about? Nope.
I haven't watched hardly any of it.
Yeah.
Well, I've been watching the Olympics for women's basketball, so they're now 58-0 in Olympic competition. So
58 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
58-0.
But they've played more games than that. 58-0 since whatever.
1992.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm telling you, you are treading on thin ice if you start questioning Shirley and her numbers.
How would you know? Oh yeah,
I'm just telling you.
Every March,
man.
Shirley and Bailey get along at all times of the year except in March.
In March, they don't talk to each other.
Except for in March when the tournament happens, and usually it's after rounds 1 and 2.
She can't count with her.
And apparently my math is terrible, according to Bailey.
She's over there eating gummies while she's doing math on that thing. I'm telling you.
In her defense, she does have a lot of brackets to grade, but it always seems like Bailey's is the one that has a question on it.
No, because I messed up Morgan's this year.
All right, there you go.
Remember, because I did not account
She went after the Bubbas is what she did.
Originally, I had thought I had won.
Oh, yeah.
Prematurely announced
that, Your Honor.
I won the tournament, the bracket challenge, and it turns out I did not see Morgan had a, I guess you could say, a dark horse, and he had just enough points to beat me. I think he beat me by 1.
Yeah. We had announced it on the show.
Funny what happens when you add them all up.
We had a hanging Chad situation and had to recount them.
A hanging
Hey,
Morgan.
look, at least I was willing to admit it on the air that I goofed.
We appreciate that, Shirley. A lot
you know,
of people don't
unlike
do that
some
these
folks
days.
who will, argue until the sun goes down about 2 little butt cheeks.
2 little butt cheeks. Sean, you said you were going to head out to Elm Street, check out some softball. How'd it go?
Didn't go out there. I fell asleep. I set my alarm for like 5:30, and I woke up at 8 o'clock.
Told you to take a little Sunday nap.
Oh yeah,
That's not a Sunday nap, son. That's,
I know, it sounds like
that's time to get up for Monday morning.
I know. When I looked at the phone, my phone, it said like 7:53. I was like, I thought it was morning time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, and then I was like, wait, it's afternoon. So
I'm not a big nap guy, but that wake up from a nap does freak you out. 'Cause,
Oh, my gosh.
What
That
day
happened to me,
is
man.
it? What time is it? What's going on? Bailey, you been out there at all yet?
I was out there for a little bit today, not long. I'm scheduled to go back out. We're going to watch the first part of the 4 o'clock game at the station. Then we're going to go live at 5:20 and 6:20 out at the ballpark.
All right. Well, we will let you run. So does Greenville's playing at 4?
4 o'clock.
All right.
Yep.
We'll put that on the tube when that begins. BB, thank you for hanging out with us. Got the debut of the Brian Bailey Show coming up next Monday at noon.
Glad to be back, man. I tell you what.
Re-airs
Great
at 6.
summer, and it's an exciting time. And every time you go over to East Carolina right now, there's a little hustle and bustle going on, trying to get ready for the opener, and it's just a neat time of the year. The students come back, and
everything picks up. You go to UBE, there's parents and kids in there.
Go to restaurants, and there are people in the restaurants now, and so it's good for everybody.
Good deal. Thank you, BB.
All right,
We'll see you, Brian Bailey Show, next Monday. Coming back for another year here on Pirate Radio.